First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your First Alert forecast. 19 News starts now.
And we begin with a live look outside Rocket Arena. The place is going to be jumping for sure tonight.
No question about it. The Cavs and the Pistons tip off at 8 o'clock here tonight. The Cavs really almost in a must-win situation, right? It's Game 4 against the Pistons as Cleveland tries to tie things up. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at 4. I'm Brian Duffy.
And I'm Nicole Versansky. So we have team coverage live from Rocket Arena all afternoon long.
That's right. First, though, we have your first alert on what's going to be a cold night ahead. We just cannot shake this cold.
It's beautiful. It looks beautiful outside, but it's
really
chilly out there.
But it is. Yeah, so, if you bought Mom some of those hanging baskets or something like that, that could be a problem tonight.
Could be. You might want to take that inside if you can, or at least cover it up. 19 First Alert meteorologist Erica Page joining us now with the details on this frost.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to take a couple more days before we can finally put some of this colder air to bed for at least a little while. Well, hopefully the rest of the spring season. We'll see. Let's kind of walk you through exactly what we're going to be watching here over the next couple of days because, yes, we do have a frost concern, especially as we head into tonight. Some spots could hit freezing for at least a couple of hours as we head into the overnight, but just kind of keep that in mind. If you do have any of those beautiful flowers, we don't want them ruined. Make sure they are protected, brought inside, whatever you can do to kind of protect them from some of the colder air. Things will warm up a little bit as we approach the middle part of the work week, but with that will come an opportunity for us to see some rain. On the other side of that system, that's when we have the more sustained, kind of almost summer-like warmth working back into the region. So if you are headed back downtown later this evening for the Cavs-Pistons game, temperatures are going to be a little on the cooler side, 50s as we get into downtown prior to the game. But once you are headed back to your car, dress warm, bring that coat. Temperatures are going to be back into the middle 40s. We'll walk you through where we go from here coming up in just a little bit.
All right, we have a lot more ahead from Rocket Arena this afternoon.
Yep, but now we're going to send it inside to Aria Janelle in the 19 News studio, standing by with a look at some of the other big news stories of today. Aria.
Well, 2 years ago today, a Euclid police officer was shot and killed in the line of duty. Now his family is suing, claiming Jacob Durbin's death was preventable. First at 4, Brittany Weir has been digging into the lawsuit.
Jacob Durbin was just 23 years old and had been a Euclid police officer for less than a year when he was shot and killed on May 11, 2024. Durbin was with other officers responding to a call for help from a woman who said her ex-boyfriend was threatening to kill her. Durbin's estate has now filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Euclid, the police chief Scott Meyer, several officers, and officials at Sugar and Valley Dispatch. The suit claims that Dispatch left out critical details when they sent officers to the home. The lawsuit goes on to say that no supervisor directed them to form a tactical plan, even though the suspect was a known violent felon wanted by the U.S. Marshals. Durbin walked into the backyard of the home alone with only a flashlight in his hand and was shot. The complaint also alleges that a fellow officer shot toward Durbin's location, creating a crossfire. Durbin was shot 7 times in total, but it's still unclear if all of those shots were from the suspect.
Absolutely, this could have been prevented. There was so many warnings.
19 News spoke to Jacob's mother, Dawn, on the 1-year anniversary of his death. The suit also claims a pattern of misconduct at the Euclid Police Department and notes not a single officer gave a statement to state investigators after Durbin's death.
Oh, how can I heal when all my questions aren't answered? And I understand, all my questions may not be answered, but not like this.
Jacqueline Green, the attorney for the Durbin estate, said in a statement that Jacob Durbin's death was preventable and his family's unanswered questions are answerable, and we will seek answers in this case. Tonight, the community will come together to remember Officer Jacob Durbin right here at the Greater Cleveland Peace Officer Memorial. There will be a candlelight vigil for all fallen officers starting at 7:45. The Euclid Police Department and their chief denied our request for an interview. The Sugar Valley Dispatch says they have not yet been served and refuse to comment on pending litigation. Reporting, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
Well, he is set to become Ohio's next top cop after Attorney General Dave Yost announced he is resigning. But what do we know about Andy Wilson? 19 Data journalist Dan DeRose is here to fill us in. Dan.
A little surprising that Yost resigned. Who DeWine has picked, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has picked as his replacement, should not be a surprise to anyone who follows the governor's picks and his cabinet. This is Andy Wilson here along with his wife at today's announcement. Andy Wilson has been the right-hand man when it comes to anything crime and justice, reform, education, training for Governor DeWine. So let's go through this real quick. He's got his degree from Wright State University. That was his undergrad. He gets his law degree from the University of Dayton. He then goes on to become a member of the National Guard. He serves. He then becomes a Clark County trial prosecutor in 2002. It's there that he specialized in sex crimes and violence against children. That was his specialty. He then goes on to be the senior advisor for criminal justice policy for Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. He works on violent crime reduction, first responder wellness, and law enforcement training. Then he's appointed to the cabinet by DeWine in 2022 as the director of Ohio Public Safety. He oversaw 4,000 employees as the director of that cabinet position. It includes the Ohio State Highway Patrol, Homeland Security, Emergency Management, and 7 other departments. Today, we got to hear from him as the first time nominated next Attorney General.
Governor, what I want you and the people of Ohio to know this morning as I move into this new position is that I will do my duty. You know, I learned the value of duty. I learned what duty means really as a young leader in the Army. And, you know, I have had incredible opportunities throughout my professional career to serve the people of Ohio.
Now, Wilson will fill the remaining 7 months of Yost's term, and it is an elected position, so he'll have to make a decision here very quickly if he wants to run for Ohio Attorney General come November.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
First alert you again to 90 West over around Chester Avenue for not one, but now 2 crashes. Both of them are over on the far right shoulder. So the one I was reporting on previously seemed to involve at least 3 cars and 1 dump truck. Those have all been cleared away except for that alert vehicle letting you know that you need to move on over with those arrows. This is a new one. This one is also, like I said, on the far right shoulder, just around Chester Avenue. So this is halting drivers even more so because there's 2 spots that they have to go around those crews that are working to clear those crashes at. Speeds right now are just a few miles per hour. So if you're about to be heading downtown to any of those games tonight, make sure you're giving yourself a few extra minutes if you're trying to head there early, because we have, like I said, not 1 but 2 crashes on 90 westbound. But so far, we're not seeing this back up even before Dead Man's Curve.
American passengers from the cruise ship at the center of the hantavirus outbreak arrived at a quarantine center in Nebraska today. Meanwhile, the captain of that ship has a message of gratitude. Karen Cava has the latest from Washington.
Americans evacuated from the cruise ship at the center of a deadly hantavirus outbreak touched down in Omaha, Nebraska early Monday, home to a specialized quarantine unit.
Over the next several days, passengers will undergo an initial health assessment and receive guidance on next steps from the CDC experts and other partners.
Officials said 16 passengers remained at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, 1 in a biocontainment unit for care, the other 15 in quarantine for monitoring.
Everyone here is asymptomatic. and afebrile and do not have a temperature at this time.
2 others are in a biocontainment unit at Atlanta's Emory University, with one experiencing symptoms. Passengers who remain asymptomatic will be given an option to complete a 42-day monitoring period at home or in the medical facilities. Health officials emphasize this is a variant that does not spread easily.
Let me be crystal clear. The risk of hantavirus to the general public remains very, very low.
But stop short of a guarantee it won't spread to the general public.
There are no guarantees in life. We're putting as many measures in place as possible to ensure that people are safe and healthy, and we keep the community safe and healthy as well.
Meanwhile, in a message posted by the cruise ship's operator Monday, the ship's captain thanked the crew, passengers, and others for their support.
What moved me the most was your patience, your discipline, and also kindness that you show to each other.
At least 3 people have died from the current outbreak, according to the World Health Organization. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Back inside here at the arena. Joining us now is Ben Adams. He is the vice president of marketing for the Cleveland Monsters.
Yeah, because not only do we have the Cavs in the playoffs, we also have the Monsters in the playoffs as well, chasing that Calder Cup. So the floor behind us is going to be transformed into ice come Thursday. And it sounds like, Ben, there's some great fan giveaways.
Yeah, and you mentioned that frost advisory, maybe a little hockey still in the air here
there
in
you
May.
Go. I love it.
You know, we have an awesome Game 1 coming up here to start the North Division Finals. There are only 8 teams left in the AHL's Calder Cup playoffs. Game 1, we're giving away T-shirts to the first 5,000 fans, courtesy of University Hospitals. And all games, all fans get rally towels from our partners at 1010. So Game 1 starts Thursday. Last you heard from us, May 3rd was the last time the Monsters were playing hockey. We took care of that series quickly, and the guys are ready to get back to it.
Yeah, you took care of it quickly, so you had to wait a little bit to see who your next opponent would be. It's Toronto coming in here, and it's Thursday, Saturday?
Yes, Thursday, Game 1 against Toronto Marlies, the AHL affiliate of the Toronto Maple Leafs, as you may guess. And Game 2 is Saturday at 7 o'clock.
And boy, the Monsters fans, they are impressive when you look across the league. I mean, we have the best fans, do we not, for the Monsters?
We have the best fans. We have the best fan support. We led the league in attendance the 4th year in a row this season at over 11,500 per game. Creates a really unique atmosphere, especially in our league. It's a huge competitive advantage when we get to the playoffs. A lot of the teams in our league aren't used to playing in front of buildings like that, so
it intimidates them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the hope. These guys are pros, but they can handle a lot. But our fans do create a tough place to play.
Right. Before we let you go, bend down and grab that and explain what this is, because I think this is cool.
Yeah, so as you go about your business in Cleveland, hopefully you may see one of our billboards. We're crossing out the wins to the Calder Cup. We've got 3 down. You can get one of these decals on our website, clevelandmonsters.com/playoffs. Participate yourself, just a $7 donation. And our players use this can to spray off dasher boards every win, a really unique tradition here at Rocket Arena for Monsters playoff hockey.
So what do we need? How many more we need?
You see here, we need 11 more.
Okay.
So we got our work cut out. But we're off to a good start.
Fear the depths, right?
Fear the depths.
11 months. 11 more.
Ben.
Thanks so
Appreciate
much,
it.
Ben Adams, again, joining us live here at Rocket Arena.
Let's go back in Aria.
Well, oil prices are recovering from an overnight spike tied to President Trump's apparent rejection of Iran's latest ceasefire terms. The U.S. benchmark is shy of $100 a barrel. AAA reports regular gas is averaging $4.52 today. That's about 50 cents short of the all-time high in Ohio. It's $4.70. Once again, we looked around with the help from Gus Buddy for the cheapest gas. You'll pay $4.26 at the MAPCO in Akron on Waterloo Road, $4.19 at Gas USA in Cleveland on West 117th, and $4.33 at the BP in Shelby on Broadway. The drivers in Canada were definitely confused by this, a motorcycle dangling from a traffic light over in Vancouver. Police say the motorcycle and another vehicle hit each other, causing that motorcycle to be left right there. Police said speed was a factor in that crash. The driver of the bike was left with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The car's driver was unhurt.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
Guy was okay.
All
too.
right. Next big thing that we're going to be watching certainly is going to be the colder air that's working in late tonight. So as we've mentioned, we've got frost and freeze alerts already posted all across Northeast Ohio. Make sure if you have any of those sensitive plants, they are protected before you head to bed. Now, in terms of where I think our temperatures will rest, for a lot of us it'll be the middle 30s, but we could have a few lower 30s out there, which is why some of our counties are under that freeze warning. The good news for us is that there are some warmer days ahead that we get to enjoy once we can get past tonight. But as we said, pretty much everybody under some type of frost or freeze headline for tonight. Again, the lighter blue shaded counties, those are the frost advisories. The purple counties, which is basically inland Ashtabula, Trumbull, as well as Mahoning counties, you are under that freeze warning until 8 a.m. Let's kind of walk you through temperatures, because once you get past tomorrow morning's colder air, we're going to warm up pretty quickly. We'll have a lot of sunshine through the first part of the day. A few clouds will start to mix in during the afternoon, but you can see that temperatures are going to be back kind of in that lower to middle 60-degree range. A little cooler for where we should be for this time of the year, but all things considered, it's not bad considering that we could certainly be much cooler like we have been today. What we will notice that in addition to some of those clouds that drift in tomorrow, the other changes that those clouds will bring is eventually a rain chance. Now, if you have Tuesday plans, if you're going to the Guardians game tomorrow, I don't think rain is going to be a big issue for you, because for the most part that rain holds off until we get into the overnight hours. So we're really talking past midnight on Wednesday, and likely waking up with at least a few showers across parts of our area. May not be everywhere, but just kind of keep that in mind as we close in on Wednesday morning. The later we get through the day on Wednesday, the more we're going to have to watch for this next cold front to roll through, because it could spark a few showers, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder or two as that front passes, and it will also likely send temperatures tumbling once we get into the second part of the day.
Now your top 4 at 4. An Amazon employee died at the fulfillment center on Babbitt Road in Euclid. No details have been shared on how the worker died. We do know they passed away yesterday, and employees were sent home with pay for that shift. Amazon shared that on-site counseling resources are available for those who need them. A 26-year-old Medina woman arrested and accused of shooting a man in the head on Sunday. This is Faith Thrasher. She's facing felonious assault charges. Police went to Abbeville Road for a domestic disturbance. We do not know the victim's name or how he's doing. Governor DeWine has named Ohio's next Attorney General. Andy Wilson will take on the role of Ohio's top attorney starting next month. He's currently serving as Ohio's Director of Public Safety. That job includes overseeing the Highway Patrol and the state's Emergency Management Agency. Before then, he was a prosecutor in Clark County, which is near Dayton. David Njoku isn't coming back to the Cleveland Browns. This morning, the former first-round pick signed a 1-year contract with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Pro Bowl tight end played 9 seasons with the Browns and has the most interceptions and yards for the Browns this century. In a social media post from earlier this year, he thanked the fans and said the city of Cleveland will forever be his home. A person was hit and killed by a plane during takeoff at Denver International Airport. Officials say on Friday the individual jumped an airport perimeter fence just minutes earlier. The airport says they don't think the pedestrian was an airport employee. There were 224 passengers and 7 crew members on board. There was also an engine fire.
It was like boom, and then you see the flames come, and then the smoke comes.
So people were yelling, fire, fire, and smoke was in the air.
Frontier Airlines said the flight was leaving for Los Angeles when it happened. Denver's fire department quickly put out that engine fire. The airport said 12 people reported minor injuries and 5 people were hospitalized.